Welcome to Dry Arabia! And today, spawning on the west side of the map, we've got beastyqt playing in yellow as the Malians. His opponent today in the east, playing in orange as the Abbasid dynasty, is 3DB. Welcome everyone to this Dry Arabia matchup in what is going to be a very tasty civilization matchup, very tasty player matchup. Hope you guys are hungry, because it's going to be tasty. Anyway, we've got the barracks opening up for the Abbasid dynasty, which is going to be looking to pressurize the early pit mine, well, the instant pit mine. You kind of expect that as the Malians. And, well, 3DB, would you expect anything different? I mean, aggression is what he does. He stings like a bee. He's going to look to try and sting Beastie today. We shall see if he manages to do it with the military. Well, the Abbasid dynasty versus the Malians. Interesting civilization matchup. You know, the Abbasid dynasty can be a bit more flexible these days. You know, they've got 4 wings, don't forget. It's not always just the economic wing, which it once used to be on previous patches, but now with the military wing coming to be a little bit more, I guess, in fashion, things could change. We shall see what B decides to do. The Malians have a couple of options as well. Now, they often very much used to go fast castle Farimba. The Farimba garrison landmark used to be a very popular choice, but now they are going for cow booms. We'll see what Beastie decides to do. It's going to come down to what scouting is done. I think the fact... I like this matchup, I really do, because both civilizations are actually pretty flexible these days. Like, Farimba garrison fast castle still a thing for the Malians, but they've got the cow boom option as well with the Grand Fulani Coral. Whereas the Abbasid dynasty, again, very similar. They can mix things up. They can go for the military school. They can go for the economy wing. Multiple town centers. We'll have to see. And we can see B already putting some pressure on the pit mine and Beastie reacting. Going to get a barracks of his own. Now, in this straight up fight between barracks units, it should be the case that the Malians should win because they get the Donso, right? So the Donso have a bit of a ranged attack. They can chuck their spearmen across the map and somehow just get another one straight away. I'm not sure how that works, but it works. And so the spearmen for the Abbasid dynasty, a little bit of disadvantage on that front. So a good micro, Beastie should be able to push this away and keep hold of the pit mine. We will see, because 3DB, you know, it's so hard to predict this guy. I think this is one of the reasons why I love this matchup, right? Because it's just so hard to predict. Let me know in the comment section below, do you love this matchup? You must do. You guys would be crazy not to. And you know what? I'm going to ask a very spicy question, all right? Very spicy question. Who do you reckon is... Oh, how do I ask this? Okay, who's your favorite player? Like, it could be for various different reasons. It could be because you think that they are the better player. You could think that because of their playstyle. Like, who's your favorite player? Type a 1 as a comment section in the comment section below for Beastie. Type a 2 for 3DB. So that's a 1 for Beastie, a 2 for 3DB. We'll take a look what the population are saying, what the viewers are saying. 4 spearmen, 2 Donso. And I would like to see Beastie look to try and throw some of those javelins and, well, I guess spears. And he does. Look at it. Going across the map. Poking and prodding. He's got 3 of them now, so he's going to just wait until he can throw another. B just doesn't seem to care. You know, just going to keep torching this down. Adding in more spearmen as well. Now, we might be having a very extended Dark Age. We'll have to see who blinks first and goes to the next stage. But yeah, the Denso are getting good value now. The villagers, or one villager at least, is going to come out to repair and keep this alive. And the good thing is that actually this is forcing the hand a little bit. The fact that 3DB is threatening to take this pit mine down is forcing B to get up and Beastie rather to get up and close and personal to actually try and attack. Actually nullifies that range attack that they get. But the villager coming out to repair is obviously very nice. And the spearman going to try and poke and prod the villager. Villager does go back though. And here comes a big poke and prodding. It's very difficult to tell who's going to win this one actually. It does seem like Beastie has the better numbers, but village getting poked and prod by B. That's actually kind of useful to peel one off to attack the villager. Just stops the villagers coming back and causing idle time, of course. Which is actually quite useful for B. But the Donsos, you know, throwing their spears again, getting a good kill. Does he get the scout? Doesn't quite. He engages against the Donso. It's going to come down to a lot of micro. Does take away the weak Donso there, Beastie, with 2 HP. Nice bit of micro. Does lose a Donso there, though. Going to back off now, B. Feels like he's done enough. 4 versus 5, though. Could potentially take the fight, actually. I think B should turn around and fight. He does look to do that, and then Beastie does look to head away. Now it could be Beastie actually looks to get a good attack. It does get through 2 throws of these spears for the spearmen coming, or the Donsos coming on the back line. And now they're kind of just going back and forth. A bit of a tug of war. Good throw, good snipe. Check that out. And so, I mean, it's a bit awkward here because Beastie really should just be able to push this away with the ranged attack. And B holding on, though. He's holding on. Trying to cause as much mayhem as possible. I mean, to be honest, I don't know if anyone else would be trying this because, you know, Malians get the Donso, right? It's just a better unit at this point. But B is crazy. He's doing it anyway. And he's going to cause as much mayhem as he possibly can. But he's being pushed back now because he only has 3 spearmen. And he does pick another one there, Beastie. Nice micro. So we are seeing what we expected to happen, which is Beastie pushing this back with his Donso. And on the back of this, what is happening? Will B be going to the next stage? What is that? Wait a minute. Is he even on berries? He's not. He's actually on sheep at the moment. Obviously, he spent a lot of wood on the units and the barracks. And on the back of this, it looks like Beastie probably go to the next stage a little bit quicker. His food income's a bit better. And I don't think he even needs to... I mean, he might continue producing Donso. We'll have to see. He's trying to be aggressive. Taking off some critical HP before the fight engages. He needs to back off that Beastie. He's going to take a bad fight there. Does lose a Donso. Going to lose a scout as well. That's actually horrible. Losing that scout is bad because he won't have information now. And that's actually really bad, actually. I think losing Donso is not the end of the world. It's bad, but it's not the end of the world. But losing the scout, okay, it's not the end of the world, but it's really bad because now Beastie will have to actually train another one if he wants to get the scouting information. And obviously, he'll probably want to do that. The Beastie going to engage here. That's not a good fight for him, I don't think. Good poking and prodding. Trying to micro the weak ones back, but I think B should be able to win this fight just about. Yeah, it takes another Donso. So it's going to be 4 versus 3. B's going to head back home and try and get some reinforcements in. Another one is coming in as a reinforcement, but getting poked and prodded on the way back. And I think Beastie might just turn and fight this, though, once the new Donso does come in. As you can see now, it does take the fight. But it does look like he's a little bit low on HP there, Beastie. He's engaging well, though. It does pick off a spearman. Very, very nice. And he keeps the Donso alive. And the reason why this is so critical is because the Donso, the weak ones, don't actually have to engage with the melee fight, right? They can use their ranged attack, as they just does there. And reinforcements coming in for Beastie again, going up with the Mansa Quarry to the next stage, the feudal age, and it's going to be the military wing for the Abbasid dynasty. Which I mean, if you know B, yeah, I guess you're not that surprised, but it's still nice to see. That's for sure. It's very refreshing. He's going to go with the military wing and then push on from there. And he is now on the berries. So a nice bit of food income will be coming in. He saved the best till last, taking the sheep first and then the berries. But the Donsos are going to be upgraded, and this is going to look good for Beastie. He's got hardened Donso upgrade. He's going to be up against it. B here. He's got to head back home. The trouble for the Abbasid dynasty, he can't rush up that next stage, right? He's got a minute, and he's got a minute. He just has to survive for a minute. I mean, I'm sure he'll survive for a minute, but you know what I mean. He can't take any suboptimal fights. But he's going to be pressured back. 2 spearmen. Oh. He's going to engage here, though, against the hardened Donso. Okay, well, he's taking the fight. He's backing off now, Beastie. Just the numbers looking decent for B, actually. So despite being against the hardened Donso versus the regular Dark Age spearman, he's taking the fight, but B needs to be careful because this could be a trap. Beastie might be just leading him onto another bunch of Donsos, maybe even archers. Has he got an archer range? I suspect he will do. He does indeed. And so B needs to be careful not to run in too far. Does engage against the Donsos. A new refreshed one comes in. And, almost takes out the scout there. B keeps the scout alive, though, so he'll be having that scouting information to see what happens. Here come the archers, and I think now B would do well to get out of there. He's got to get out of there. About 15 seconds for that military wing. Now, we'll spawn a couple of units, a couple of archers, a couple of spearmen. Certainly will be useful. B needs to get out of there. He's going to use the formation. He's going to sacrifice a couple of the spearmen, it seems. He did turn around and fight. And now he's going to back off. Now, I think B going to the military wing is actually really useful. Those 2 archers adding to the fight is actually going to change things a little bit. And they need to get there quickly. Pretty much non-stop now for the first 9 minutes. You've got to love it. Speaking of which, if you do love it, then you make sure you give this video a thumbs up. It actually really helps the channel and the videos. I know you hear a lot of YouTubers saying, but it really does make a big difference. There are the 2 archers coming from the military wing, but the Donso is trying to focus on them and charge it down a little bit. The military numbers looking better here for B at this point. 14 to 11. Villager count a little bit better there for Beastie. And wheelbarrow coming in for B. Already in play for Beastie. We'll be losing a couple of the Donsos on the front line. The archers on the back line for Beastie. Trying to pick away as many of the spearmen as possible. A couple of archers for B do go down. He's focused on them. And does have 1 archer left, though, B. And he's going to clean this up. Beastie taking a suboptimal fight, that's for sure. Body blocking as well, which is very nice from B. Trying to take out the Donsos as much as possible. Has a scout still alive as well, giving him that extra vision. Cannot underestimate the power of that. Now, double the military B has. Incredibly strong. Did he get... he hasn't got fresh foodstuffs just yet. Reducing the cost to produce villages by 35%. I suspect that'll come in. That'll be really, really handy for him. But a lot of villagers on gold now. Going to be idle. Beastie has to head back away from that. And looks like it's cow booing. Okay, so it's not going to be like a... I mean, you can't really fast castle anyway. Not with this amount of pressure. So I do like this some way for Beastie, because he's investing a bit of eco to make sure the feudal age is really kind of strong for him in terms of eco-wise. Needs to be careful to, you know, continue producing units though. He can't afford to just focus too much heavily on the macro side of things. We'll be losing a couple of Donsos, a Camel Archer there in play, getting bonus damage. And dishing out a lot of damage. Those villagers have to back away from gold again, once again. Mansa Quarry is toggled to gold. Sometimes you see it on stone if they're going to try something funky with an extra TC, but it's not going to be the case. Beastie sticking on with the gold for the Mansa Quarry. Back home, B is still on the berries and continuing to produce units. It's got a barracks, archer age, and stable. Looks like it's going to be a very heavy feudal age, especially with the blacksmith being added. It's going to look for those upgrades, and you can smell it already. B is looking to be aggressive in the feudal age, 16 military to 8. Double the military, similar villager count. Does he have fresh foodstuffs, which will be helping? Not yet, actually, surprisingly enough. Relatively cheap tech, actually. I'm surprised he's not getting that. It wants to keep up the villager production, I guess, for now. But getting that tech will be saving food for him in the medium to short... well, right from the get-go, really, for every villager. And it means he can pump out more units with those resources. But, you know, it is what it is. He's delaying it for now, wants to try and keep up the villager counts as much as possible. Phalanx upgrade coming in for the Spearman for B. And also Iron Undermesh straight after. Decent number of archers though for B. Looking good, looking healthy. Military numbers 21 to 9. Beastie, he's committing a lot to the cow boom. I think he might be overcommitting just now. And do you know what? I think a lot of it is because he doesn't have a scout, right? He doesn't know exactly what's happening. And it's such a key bit of detail. Like, he may be assuming that B's on 2 town center. I mean, he probably sees the number of military units and probably would have sussed out that he's not on 2 town centers. Because there's just like no way, right? There's no way he can maintain that amount of pressure and be on 2 town centers. Although if there's a civilization that can do it, it probably is the Abbasid dynasty with fresh foodstuffs. Speaking of which, B hasn't even bothered to get it yet. I suspect he's just going to go full pedal to the metal. Now he's going to get some rams adding into the fight. And I think that's really smart, because the thing is, Beastie's military numbers are very low, so he can't afford to take out the ram with the military units, right? He's going to have to sacrifice villager idle, like gathering time, to try and take out the rams. If he can even get close, because look at this, B does this a lot. I love to see it. He micros so much with this. He keeps units inside the rams. As soon as the villagers come out to try and torch it down, he ungarrisons them, and they start poking and prodding. Adding in horsemen, making things very difficult for Beastie, because, of course, a natural transition could have been javelin throwers to go against the archers that the Abbasid dynasty have, but then there's the horsemen that'll pounce on them, so looking a bit tricky. The units are coming outside as well, just to torch the pit mine down. The pit mine won't be able to stay there for much longer, so a bit of gold trickle will be reduced there for the Malians. Does have a gold vein here on the south, though, which I don't think B is aware of. He's not indeed aware of that. Pit mine goes down. Spearmen come out. Going to take out the population, buildings as well, the houses, which won't be too expensive to replace, but it's just a bit of an inconvenience there for Beastie. Look at the cow boom. Now, if this does survive the cow boom, then that's going to be really good for the economy. Look at that, 700 food coming in. Not quite as good as the B's 900 food per minute, but that's because he's got more than, just under double the villagers on food. So the fact that Beastie's keeping up to a decent amount is actually kind of a testament to how strong the cow boom can be. But it's got to be careful, Beastie. He's got to keep producing those units. He's got a lot of villagers on gold, and I do worry about that. Potentially thinking about going to the castle age with that amount of gold. I guess he can't help it because he's not... How many villagers does he have in gold, actually? Yeah, it's got 17. That's a bit tricky. Where are they? They've gone around the back. Okay. Possibly would have been thinking about going to the castle age, but might need to pull a couple of villagers off of gold. Does he have food resources here? He does have some deer. I'd expect him to pull some villagers off of gold to deer at some point. Oh, a single Donso looking just to harass some villagers. Villagers get their shivs out. They're going to fight it off. And right, well, they're going to head right into the fight here. 42 military to 25, though. This is a bit sticky for Beastie. A lack of scout. Maybe just didn't notice that he's just on 1 town centre, and the amount of pressure that's coming in really starting to climb. And B, with the all-out aggression in the feudal age, is looking to do as much damage as he possibly can. And the reason why I like this is because it's not like the Malians go 2 town centres, right? It's not like Beastie's getting a huge economy advantage, although the cow boom is certainly helping. It is just a little bit slower than a TC, right? To really get kicking and action. And Beastie's struggling to keep up with the military numbers. I think that's the key bit of detail. Now B looking to find another angle of attack. Let's take care of that pit mine. Does have 15 units still garrisoned inside the battering ram as well, so can sometimes debate, like if Beastie doesn't clock onto that, the fact that it's garrisoned inside the units, you might look to try and engage, and these guys might pop out. You might be able to take care of it though, Beastie, because he's got a lot of units there. Horsemen going to die very quickly. Ram trying to back off for now in the north. Okay, it looks like the units for B going to try and join the fight now. Donso's engaging against the archers. They are garrisoning and ungarrisoning inside the Ram. He heads back though, Beastie. He's not looking to take that fight. Not with a number of units here. A lot of horsemen, a lot of spearmen, a couple of archers, battering ram to protect those infantry units as well. The question is, where does... I mean, does B... I mean, he doesn't need it. He just doesn't want fresh foodstuffs today, apparently. Okay, fair enough. Just, he just feels like it's a bit of a unnecessary tech, apparently, maybe. He's probably just forgotten about it. Just a single archer harassing villagers. Actually, keep causing a lot of idle time. Holy moly. Now, the thing is Beastie, if he loses the production buildings, that's actually kind of problematic. He doesn't have much wood income right now. He's going to have to transition onto the other wood line on the west side, and the horsemen trying to just deny as much wood as they possibly can. I like this play, actually. If you think about it, what B is doing is attacking production buildings, and he's also attacking the resources that he would need to be replacing this with, Beastie. Donso's going to throw their javelins on the horsemen. Such a strong unit, though, for the Malians. The horsemen can't get close. Another ram coming out. That'll be the third ram for B. That's going to dish out a lot of damage. A couple of horsemen pulling away all these units. That's actually key. Just a couple of horsemen, a handful of them. Going to be idling a lot of villagers, pushing away the army from the middle of the base there for Beastie. Causing those production buildings to be left alone and unguarded. Look at that, 70 military to 44. He's actually got more villagers now as well, because Beastie lost a couple. Might lose a ram though, B. Might not matter, because he's getting a third one. Horsemen might look to dive on the archers. We'll have to see. Units probably need to get involved. I think a lot of them are garrison inside the ram. We'd like to see them ungarrison and actually join the fight. Donsos are charging in. Archers need to focus on them. A couple of Donsos will be taken out on the retreat. One ram might go down, and once they do, the units will pop out very quickly. A lot of cows coming out though for Beastie. I think he can't afford any more at this point. He needs units drastically. We haven't even seen what's happening for B back at home. Macro-wise, he's actually got a farming transition on. He's got horticulture coming in. Got wheelbarrow, double broadaxe, a lot of income of resources, that is for sure. 1,000 wood per minute. That will supply the rams. He's going to take out the blacksmith. He's diving on in the fight. Lots of army from B just surrounding what beastyqt has, and it's going to go around the cow boom, and this is problematic. It's just diving the economy. Beastie's economy pretty much idled here. So many villagers will be idled, and well, he's down to 48 villagers. He's lost a lot. Where does he go from here? Trying to get wood on the south side now. Beastie trying to get the production buildings. That's the issue. He's going to have to spend the wood on the production buildings to try and get army out again. It doesn't really feel like he's got enough. A little bit of army, handful left in there. Javelin throwers are trying to focus on the archers. He's just going right underneath the town center. He just doesn't care, B. 15 villagers garrison inside, but B just want to keep all those villagers idle as much as they possibly can. Villagers on the wood, going to have to head away. There's just not enough military. Beastie, he's down to 13 military versus 50. I think at this point, the economy just doesn't matter because he doesn't have the production. B sitting on the production. Any unit that comes out for Beastie is just going to be sniped straight away. The villagers are going to perish. They're fighting with their shivs. They're trying everything. The Malians look like they're going to be down and out. B, has he got what it takes to see Beastie out of this game with one final sting? We'll have to see. The Javelin is still trying to get value. He's fighting underneath the town center, B. So we'll be losing a critical number of units. He's still got rams going. Holy moly. And there's no way for Beastie to deal with the rams effectively. And that's what's going to be causing all sorts of mayhem. He does have the production buildings there for archery ranges. The units are coming out for Beastie, but his economy's been idle for so long. He is now losing the cow boom, which is what he invested so much in. And B is killing the last few units that Beastie may have for the Malians. And it looks like he's going to be taking this game on dry Arabia. The cow boom is failing, and the Abbasid dynasty, a new way to play the Abbasid dynasty, being showcased by B here. The lack of scout really hurting Beastie. Maybe didn't anticipate this, and you don't blame him. The Abbasid dynasty aren't often played this way. And with that, it looks like with those 15 villagers garrisoned inside the town center, that is the last remaining economy for Beastie, and there's no way to translate that huge amount of villagers, well, I say 15, into military, because of military coming out of the archer ranges. They are coming out into the Abbasid dynasty army, and there it is, ladies and gentlemen. B takes the win on dry Arabia with an unorthodox Abbasid dynasty play. Well, we're not surprised there, are we? It's 3DB. Hope you guys enjoyed the cast game. Take care, and see you next time.